Before anybody asks, no, I have not watched Noragami yet. Not that it matters, since Lupin was probably better anyways. That fucking first episode of Lupin was so fucking enjoyable. All I can really give it is a 6 because it wasn't necessarily amazing. What I will say is that I don't know, you know what, I've never really figured out exactly how you can call, like, directing good or bad, because that's never been something that, like, I've really gone, like, into researching. What I can say is that, if directing has anything to do with how the show is shot, the pacing and all that fucking shit, then, yeah, by that terminology, I guess, then it would be well-directed, but I don't know, so I'm not gonna use that fucking buzzword. But overall, that episode of, Lupin was pretty good. I'm assuming that that will probably be the, best first episode we'll get this season. I'm not expecting much from this season at all. But anyways, what did I think about Lupin? So, first thing I want to bring up, so we can get this out of the way fast, because there would be a lot to talk about if I, didn't just breeze by this. Holy fuck, it looked good. The art style just complemented everything nice. Like, it fucking looked amazing when it was smooth, and even when it was choppy. Like, when, you know, like, some of it, it's kind of like the same thing that I'll talk about K on, like, the next thing that I upload, or the K review, but, like, even though some of the fucking shots were choppy, it still looked nice, because it kind of fit with the art style. K is a kind of a different thing, because, you know, that was just kind of, you know, they fucked up a little bit, but with Lupin, it was like, the choppiness kind of worked because it felt more cartoony that way. So it was, it kind of allowed Lupin, like, this episode to kind of be, like, smooth, or, like, fluid in animation and choppy, and for the choppiness not to feel awkward. Everything was really well shot, everything was fucking well animated. I love the fucking art style. I think it just looks gorgeous. There's a lot of detail put into the art style, too, which is kind of funny considering, like, how cartoonish and stuff it looks. You'd think it'd be more bland, but, anyways, moving on from that part. Fucking sound department was great. I love all of the fucking voice actors. I thought the opening, oh my gosh, the opening is so fucking good. I don't care what anybody says, like, even besides the song, the transitions and the visuals and everything in the opening was fucking great. OST is too funky for me. I think I'm gonna fucking like this show. I have a really good feeling I'm gonna like it, because usually if I got a fucking show with some entertaining characters and a good OST, then I'll be liking that show. Hence why I like K with my fucking terrible taste.
Fruit salad.
Now on to, like, the story and the characters and stuff. One thing that I really did like, because here's the thing, I've never watched anything in the Lupin series before, so I had to ask people if, like, it would be okay for me to watch it, and apparently it's fine. Like, you don't need to watch all of the other stuff in the Lupin franchise to, like, be able to jump into this one. So from my perspective, I kind of came in as a newcomer, and so they weren't going to do, like, I don't think this series is, like, attempting to kind of characterize or, like, give backstories and stuff on any of the characters, because if you want that, then you need to go watch the other series, but it's fine if I was to jump in now. So what I'm getting at with this is that I felt as if they were characterized well, despite, you know, them having backstory and other stuff in prior seasons of Lupin. It felt like an easy transition just kind of to hop into, like, this first episode of Lupin the Third really did feel like a first episode of, like, a new series. As if, like, I never really needed to go watch the other episodes or, like, the other series to be able to jump into this one, and I think that's a good thing. Accessibility is always a good thing. Well, most of the time, there are rare occasions, but most of the time, it is a good thing. I like how, like, how the characters weren't just characterized through looks, but through, like, the way that they spoke, their actions, and it's kind of like, you can kind of infer most of their backstories, but I also, a lot of this stuff I just found really interesting with the characters. I thought that they were a really entertaining cast. They weren't anything, like, special or phenomenal, but I think that I'm gonna be able to bear with them, for 24 episodes. I also found it kind of cool how they used the characterization, like, kind of like the fucking wine and how spoiled this bitch is, to kind of, like, solve the mystery at the end of the episode. I thought that that was kind of different. I also thought that the chemistry between the characters, little word flub right there, but I thought that the chemistry was really, it keeps the audience interested. I think this is something that I said within, like, my care review. You don't necessarily have to have amazingly characterized characters or people with amazing backstories to have a good character. I think that if the cast at least has good character interactions, then the show can still be enjoyable, and I think that's where Lupin succeeded in terms of its characters. Its characters are very... They kind of blend with each other really well, and I don't mean as in, like, blend as in, like, they all act the same, but I mean, like, they all seem to kind of work together really well. It's a really interesting cast, and I think that that's going to pay off for Lupin in the long run. But that was just the first episode. Those are my thoughts on Lupin, the third episode one. I'll see you guys in next video. Deuces!